The phone wouldn't stop ringing. That's what I remember first. That shrill sound cutting through the silence like it knew just how much chaos was about to land in my lap. Picture me, 7 months pregnant, tired, carrying a mop and a bucket down a gleaming office hallway when my supervisor, Mr. Peter Zona, a guy I'd never seen so much as sneeze before, suddenly clutches his chest and drops like a rock right in front of me. You ever watch someone's face turn gray in real time? It's not something you forget, let me tell you. And while he's gasping for air, eyes wide, sweating through his dress shirt, that damn phone on his desk just keeps on ringing, like the universe is in on some cruel joke. I dropped my cleaning supplies, skidded over as best I could with his belly leading the way, and tried to help, but Mr. Peterson couldn't even get a word out. He just kept motioning toward the phone, desperate, so I did what anyone would do. Scrambled around his desk, managed to knock over a bunch of stuff in my hurry, and grabbed the receiver. There, half buried under a pile of papers, was this black and white ultrasound photo. My own baby's picture was in my purse, but for a split second, I had to look twice because this one looked almost identical. Weird, right? Hello, I said, try not to sound like I was in full-blown panic mode. On the other end, this deep, commanding voice comes on. Peterson, finally. I've been trying to reach you for an hour. Is this ultrasound really yours? The one you left on my desk today? I stuttered, glancing down at the photo, feeling sweat prickle under my uniform, not even sure what to say. Before I could explain, he started talking quick, sharp, like he was used to getting answers. My assistant says you've been having money troubles. Medical bills are expensive, especially with a baby on the way. I want to help. And that, right there, just about knocked me over more than any news I'd ever gotten. See, I've been holding things together with duct tape and prayers for months. 3 jobs, tiny apartment with a roof that leaked if someone coughed too hard, barely enough to keep prenatal appointments. My family was 3 states away, and my baby's father had pieced out the minute he found out. But this stranger on the phone, he just keeps pushing, would you let pride get in the way of helping your unborn child? And I didn't know what to say. Turns out he thought I was Mrs. Peterson, thought the ultrasound was mine, that I was struggling quietly while my husband me boss kept things from him. At first, I tried to protest, but then Mr. Peterson guy can barely breathe, whispers, just take the help. So I caved. I said yes. Sometimes you have to take the lifeline, you know? That's how I met Jonathan Mitchell. He was a billionaire, one of those names you see on tech headlines, the kind who actually gives away some of his money, not just talks about it. I want to cover all your medical expenses. Prenatal care, delivery, everything, he said, matter of fact, like he was offering me a sandwich. The world spun a little. I was still holding that wrong ultrasound. Sir, IICDR. Martinez at the community clinic, I mumbled. Not anymore. I want you to see DR. Sarah Kim. She's the best. My assistant will arrange everything. That night, for the first time in ages, I fell asleep without worrying about what bill was coming next. I dreamed of what it would be like to have a healthy baby, to walk into a real doctor's office, to not feel scared every time my stomach cramped. When I woke up, there was a message on my phone, appointment with DR. Kim set, car service arranged, allowance wired to my account. It felt like someone else's life. DR. Kim's office was like something out of movie, fresh flowers, sunlight, everyone so gentle. She smiled when she saw me. Mr. Mitchell said to give you the best, she said, as if that settled it. She was so thorough, so kind, that I found myself crying before I knew what was happening. You've done a good job, she told me, but stress is showing. Let's take care of you and a baby. After her staff gave me a list, vitamins, meal plans, all the things I've been skipping to save a buck. Jonathan called that night, wanting every detail. You get groceries? He asked. Yeah, salmon, vegetables, all the good stuff. He laughed. Salmon's good for baby's brain, you know? Listen, I got to be honest. I called Peterson today, says his wife's been gone for years, never remarried. That ultrasound wasn't yours, was it? For a second, my whole world froze. I confessed, I told him the truth, that I was just a janitor, that the phone call was a fluke. I expected him to snap, to yank the rug out, to say I was a liar. Instead, he said, you accepted help for your child, That makes you a good mother. I'm glad you picked up. And just like that, the shame I'd been carrying loosened its grip a little. Weeks went by in a kind of blur. Groceries showed up. My apartment got fixed by a cleaning service. Frank, the driver, became my part-time grandpa, making sure I got to appointments. And then, out of nowhere, Jonathan asked me to lunch. "You're going to need a real job after the baby comes," he said. "How do you feel about working as my receptionist? You ever have someone believe in you so hard it scares you?" I almost turned him down, afraid it was too much, too good. But I said yes. I wanted to be someone my kid could be proud of. At work, I learned how to answer phones with a smile, how to keep a calendar for a man whose every minute was booked. Rebecca, the office manager, took me under her wing, sharing stories about her own struggles. I found out Jonathan's mother had cleaned offices just like I did, that she died too soon because she never had the help she needed. He was determined not to let history repeat. For the first time in years, my life started to feel like it was moving forward. Jonathan became more than just my boss. He checked in, made sure I took breaks, made me laugh when I wanted to cry. And when my daughter's father, Tommy, showed up out of the blue cocky, broke, talking about his rights, Jonathan was the one who stood between us. "She's my family now," he told Tommy. The courtroom drama that followed, I wouldn't wish on anybody. Tommy's lawyer tried to spin me as a gold digger, tried to claim Jonathan was using his money to steal a child. The judge saw through it. She asked Tommy what he'd done for me or Grace. Nothing. Didn't even know what allergies the baby had. Hadn't bought a single diaper. Never showed up until there was money involved. The judge ruled for us terminated Tommy's rights, allowed Jonathan to adopt Grace. I cried so hard my knees buckled. That could have been the ending, but life, as always, had one more twist. A gossip blogger got wind of our story, Billionaire, pregnant janitor, love triangle. Suddenly, Jonathan's company was under a microscope, investors whispering, headlines everywhere. I offered to give Tommy visitation, to settle, to make it all go away, but Jonathan shook his head. "I won't abandon my family because of optics. Not now, not ever." Grace was born in a blur of pain and hope. Jonathan holding my hand, Dr. Him telling me I was brave even when I sobbed that I wasn't. When they put her on my chest, I felt the whole world shrink to that tiny, perfect face. Jonathan cried too. "She's ours," he said, and I believed him. We got married soon after a small ceremony. Just close friends, no headlines, no fuss. Tommy tried to fight us one more time, hired a new lawyer, made noise, called the press, but the judge saw him for what he was. Too late, too selfish. She ruled in our favor again. It's funny, you know? Sometimes a wrong number is exactly the right call. 6 months later, I'm back in school, working part-time, Grace Foundation up and running to help other women who need a miracle. Jonathan and I, we dance in the kitchen. We take turns with midnight feedings. We hold Grace between us and wonder at the randomness of it all. Some days I still think it's a dream, that any second the phone will ring and I'll be back in that hallway. Mop in hand, hope running thin. But that's the thing about hope. You never know when it's going to show up or what it's going to look like. Sometimes it's a billionaire with a kind heart. Sometimes it's a janitor who picks up the phone. And sometimes it's just the courage to say yes, even when you're scared out of your mind. Tomato, you think kindness changes the world? Or is it all just luck and timing? Would you have done what I did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about what justice and family really mean, because I'm telling you, one act of kindness can rewrite everything.